Here. The equations are on the board for distance formula. Remember, this is x1, y1, x2, y2. And then from there, you can plug the numbers into the equation. So it'd be 5 minus 2 squared. And then I'm sure you probably solved it all the way out and took the square root of 34 to get 5.83, which is correct. But then when you look at the answer choices, that's not there. They actually want you to choose the square root of 34. They didn't tell you that. You just had to kind of figure that out. Square root of 34 is a more exact answer because when you get the decimal, you get something like this. So technically, this is a rounded answer. But just be prepared either way. Number 9, same process. Something that came up in last class is they were confused by the -4 squared. Does it come out to be -16 or +16? Well, -4 times -4 would give you a positive product. So +16 plus 36, and that's how you get the square root of 52. So the answer in the answer choices might be square root of 52, it might be 7.21. Just be prepared either way. The test will be multiple choice, by the way. Some of these aren't multiple choice, just to save room on the paper. And midpoints. For midpoint, I only included problems that had you find the midpoint. I didn't include any problems that had you find the missing endpoint. I decided not to include those on the test. So for midpoint, it's going to be this equation right here. And then just plug in the numbers. Of course, you need to simplify. And then from here, you just do 8 divided by 2 to get 4, and 14 divided by 2 to get 7. And number 11, same thing. This one comes out to a decimal answer, though. As you simplify, you realize that 7 divided by 2 is going to come out to 3.5. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. You could also say 3.5. Any questions with those 4? The rest of the questions don't really require as much work. That's why I wanted you to do these first. So now we're going to move over to number 1 and work through the practice test together. I'll also be putting this video online. There's also a blank copy of this online, so if you want to print it out again tonight and just practice them through again, that would be a great way to study. As far as the test goes, the test either has these exact problems or one's very similar. There won't be any surprises. So, number 1, it says how many planes can be drawn through any 3 non-collinear points. Non-collinear points would look like this. Through those 3 points, 1 plane can be drawn. So the answer would be 1 plane. A question similar to this that might be on your test is, there is point A and point B. How many lines can be drawn through those 2 points? 1 line can be drawn through those 2 points. Number 2 says which 3 points in the figure are collinear. Now, it's very tempting to just go to the picture and say, oh, FEG is collinear. But then in terms of matching it, it can be tricky. So, because you could have said GEF, and then you're looking for GEF, and it's not there, and it gets frustrating. So, go through each answer choice, decide whether it's collinear, and cross it off. Remember, collinear means in a straight line. So, A, B, D, are those collinear? No. A, B, C? Nope. E, C, A. They are not in a straight line. F, E, G does fall in a straight line, so that is the correct answer. It just so happens that a line is drawn through those 3 points, but a line doesn't have to be drawn for it to be collinear. Number 3, name the intersection of the plane P and the plane that contains BCD. In this picture, we can see plane P is right here. The plane that contains BCD is right here. It's this triangle here. And of course, the plane goes on forever. Where does this plane intersect plane P? It's right here on this line. So line BC. Number 4, find the length of segment RS. Inches are broken up into 16ths, so I'm just going to count how many. Looks like 5. So 1 and 5/16 of an inch is the length there. So that would be A. Number 5, it says given A is between YZ, and then it gives you values. Before we do anything, we need to draw this. A is between YZ. Now that we have it drawn, we can fill in the values where they go. So YA is 5.5, AZ is 2x, and YZ is 41.5. The way to solve this is to add these two values and put it equal to 41.5. So 5.5 plus 2x equals 41.5. Then solve for x. Okay, I got x equals 18. That will be in the answer choices, but it's not the correct answer. It's asking you to find the length of AZ, this part right here. AZ is 2x, so we plug in 18 for x. 2 times 18, which would equal 36. So the answer is 36. Someone also mentioned that in this particular case, you could literally just subtract those two numbers and get the 36 for that length. It won't always work out like that, but the way it's set up, you could. 6, find the length of PQ. So just this part of the segment here. To find that length, you would subtract these two numbers to find out this distance. You will be able to use a calculator on the test. Number 7. 7 says find the value of y if b is between AC. First step before you do anything is to draw it out. B is between AC. Then plug in the values it gives you. AB is 2y, BC is 6y, and the entire thing is 48. To solve this, I'm going to set it up as 2y plus 6y equals 48 and solve for y. In this case, it is asking for the value of y. It doesn't ask for the length of one of these segments. So y equals 6 is the final answer. I will be collecting this tomorrow, so make sure you have all the work shown and everything. Okay, now we're going to skip over to number 12. 12 is a pretty easy one. It says, what type of angle is angle ABC? So what you need to do is identify where ABC is. It's right here. It's an obtuse angle. Number 14. 14 says, find the measure of FBD. I'm going to use pencil because we're going to use this diagram for several of these problems. So, wants to know the angle of this, or the measure of this angle. FBD, this angle, and DBE are complementary. That means together these add to 90 degrees. It says measure of FBD is twice that of DBE. Well, just setting it up, if this is x, then this is 2x because it's twice that of this angle. And those two angles add together to equal 90 degrees, so I can set it up as an equation. I solve it out and I get x equals 30, but what does x represent? It represents angle EBD, but the question is asking for FBD. So now that I know x equals 30, I can do 2 times 30 to get 60 for this angle. Drawing on the angle really helps with understanding the problem and getting it correct. If you're taking a test on a computer, it makes it tricky because you can't write right on the computer screen. I'm not sure whether our test will be on paper or on Schoology at this point. I still haven't quite decided. But the EOC will be on a computer. So you need to be familiar with how to answer these if you can't write on the paper. And the best way to do that is just to draw it out on a sheet of paper so you can put the numbers where they go. 15, which pair of angles are supplementary? Supplementary angles add to 180 degrees. Most often, they look something like this. They create a linear pair. So when I go through these answer choices, I'm going to be looking for that situation. I'm not going to go to the picture first because there's a lot of supplementary angles here, and it might not match what's here. So I'm going to go through each answer choice and determine whether they're supplementary and then choose the one that is. So here we have A, B, E, and C, B, D. Those are vertical, not supplementary. A, B, C, A, B, D. No, those overlap. A, B, C, C, B, D. There it is. It's this angle and this angle that is supplementary. I'm going to double check the last one just in case I made a mistake. Those are vertical, not supplementary. Which angle is vertical to ABE? Let's see, ABE. It would be this angle, but again, I'm going to go through the answer choices. DBE, nope. CBD, that's it. ABC and EBA. even though I was able to identify it right away, I still went through the answer choices because they may have named that angle differently than I would name it. I might have named it DBC, and then I'm looking through the answer choices and it's not there. So that's why I went through what they wrote. 17 and 18. 17, if the measure of CBF is 6x plus 18, find the value of x so that CB is perpendicular to BF. They're still using this picture up here. They're saying that this angle right here is 6x plus 18. They're saying that this is perpendicular to this.